بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده نصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. When making tilawat of Quran, the intention of hidayat, the intention of taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran mentions over 60 places about taqwa, and in total over 190 places showing the importance of taqwa. So in the Quran as well, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you get taqwa has been mentioned 6 places. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ in Surah Baqarah, خُذُوا مَا آتَيْنَاكُمْ بِقُوَّةٍ وَاذْكُرُوا مَا فِيهِ, hold steadfast onto what we have given you and remember what is in it. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, Surah Araf as well. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So the Quran of Allah, the Kalam of Allah, is a means of acquiring taqwa. Then يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ اعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمُ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Worship Allah, your worship should be such. إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ. Your worship should be such, it will make you a muttaqi. And likewise, so obey Allah and stay away from wrong. Why? Because there are warnings for that. وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاةٌ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. There is life in qisas for the intelligent. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So again, a perpetrator of crime, Allah will enjoin the rule of Allah on earth. If a person steals, his hand should be cut off, etc. A lesson that while you are alive, if this is the punishment, what will happen in the qabr. So take note of all the warnings that will remind you of akhirah. Amongst those ibadat where you will get taqwa is fasting. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. That this fast has been made obligatory on you. لعلكم تتقون. And وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُهُ. This is my path, this is my road. Do not digress, do not diversify. ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ. So whatever I've told you, whatever my Nabi has showed you, so the Kalam of Allah, the way of the Nabi, deen itself, when a person makes it their maqsad, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, then we are hopeful that a person will get taqwa. But when making a niyat, the ulama say there are 8 stages to perfect our niyat. So we're making a niyat now, I'm making tilawat to get this taqwa here. So the first thing is that this amal that I am doing, it is tawfiq from Allah, it is a favor of Allah. وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ مَا زَكَى مِنْكُمْ مِنْ أَحَدٍ. That if it was not the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His mercy, so this ayat is showing us that actions are not done by your own will, it is a favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Secondly, expect no reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَغَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. Allah does not need you, He does not need your ibadah, He does not need your tilawat. We are in need of Allah. So this good action that I am doing, if Allah rewards me and if Allah wants to recompense me, but I am doing it because I am abd, I am the servant of Allah and I have to obey my Malik, my Khalik. Number 3, a person should believe that this action that was done was full of flaws. At the end of Salah, Allahumma inni zalamtu nafsi zulman kathira. That I have committed a dhulm, you did a great ibadah. What oppression has been done? Ya Allah, I never read Salat how I should have read it. So every amal, we should feel that it's full of flaws. Number 4, a person should fear that this amal is rejected. Ya Allah, I did not do this amal how it should have been done. Ya Allah, please accept it. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْتُونَ مَا آتَوْا. So whatever Allah has given them in alms, they give it. What their hearts, what? وَقُلُوبُهُمْ وَجِلَةٌ. Their hearts are full of fear. And they know that you're going to return to Allah. So you are fearful that this amal that I am doing will be rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then number 5, the correct knowledge. So we cannot do an amal. A person is reading salah but he does not know the masail. He made takbir tahrima. According to Imam Hanifa, if you did not say it on your tongue or move your lips, but you just say it in your mind, then you haven't read salah. So one Muslim will 95 entire his life of ibadah. So to learn that worship, go to the ulama, spending time with the pious scholars and learn deen. Number 6, do it with the right motivation. Hazrat Imam Ahmad used to say, wajh amal, that the motivating factor behind amal. So you can be doing a lot of good deeds, but what's motivating you? A child is doing something, he's reading salah because his parents are seeing him. He's there in the masjid, doesn't have wudu, but the ustad is there, that's why he's reading salah. So the motivating factor, a person wears a black imama because it matches with his kurta. So the motivating factor behind the amal. Number 7, do it with the ruhaniyat and the spirituality that is demanded for that. So salat, قَدْ أَفْلَهَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. We read in salat, but does it have the right khushu and concentration? And the last is, do that amal with passion, because you love doing that amal. So somebody goes fishing, he does it with passion. He goes and plays golf, he does it with passion. So salah also, Nabi alayhi salam has mentioned, O kama qal ju'ilat as-salatu qurrat aini. It is a coolness to my eyes. So that amal that you are doing should eventually become a coolness to your eyes. So discussing taqwa, we did the first point. The second one was وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِ يُسْرًا. Through the barakah of taqwa, if Allah gives somebody this taqwa here, then Allah will make all their matters easy. Now people in the world are striving, whether it's in the workload, whether it's with regards to their professions, whether it's regards to their dreams in this world. But if a person adopts taqwa, then it is a key to treasures of both the worlds. If we want ease in this world, everybody is looking for an easy way out, easy road. Deen has given us the solution. Adopt taqwa. We are looking for ease in akhirat. Adopt taqwa. So Ibn Jarir at-Tabari rahimahullah mentions that he was in Makkah at the time of Hajj, and he saw a person from Khurasan calling out, Ya ma'ashar al-hujjaj, O the people of Hajj, Ya ahla Makkah, O people of Makkah, everybody. Faqadtu kaysan, I've lost a purse, a wallet. There's 1,000 dinar in that purse. فَمَنْ رَدَّهُ إِلَيَّ جَزَاهُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. Whoever returns to me this amana and trust, may Allah reward him. وَأَتَقَهُ مِنَ النَّارِ. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free him from the fire of Jahannam. وَلَهُ الْأَجْرُ وَالثَّوَابِ. And he will get reward on the day of Qiyamah. So an old man from the people of Makkah said, O Khurasani, our city has very tough conditions. The days of Hajj are few. Season is such that the doors of profit making are closed. If this money falls in the hands of a believer who is poor in old age, then if he returns it, would you give him a little money for him to use? So this person said, how much does he want? The old man said he wants 1/10 of the 100 dinars. So the Khurasani said, no, I will not give him anything. I will take my case to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and fight on the day of Qiyamah against him. Allah is sufficient. So Ibn Jarir says, I realized this old man is very poor and he probably had the pouches and he wanted a reward. So I followed him and I heard him calling to his wife, Oh Lubaba, I'm at your service. She said, Abu Ghayth. So the old man said, I found the owner of the dinars and he doesn't want to give any reward. I said, give him, I made the proposal. So what should I do? So the wife said, oh man, oh husband, We've been struggling and suffering for so long from poverty for so many years. You have 4 daughters, 2 sisters, my mother and I, we are 9 people. Keep the money and we are hungry, we do not have clothing, our situation could not be worse. Allah will make you rich one day and you will return the money. So he said to her, while I consume haram after 86 years of my life and burn my organs with the fire of Jahannam, I've been patient with poverty. I do not want Allah's anger, especially when I'm close to the Qabr. So Ibn Jarir said, I left with this condition and the reply of his wife. And then I heard the owner again saying, O people of Makkah, O pilgrims, whoever's found the pouch. The old man told the Khurasani, I asked you the other day, and you know there is reward in Akhirat, but can't you give 10 dinars? So he said, no, on the day of Qiyamah I will hold that person to task. So he left. Then he made this announcement again. The old man came again and he said, I asked you again and I told you a reward. Well, you give that person 1 dinar only. Only 1 dinar is a reward. So he said, I will not do so and I will complain to Allah on the day of Qiyamah. So the old man, very upset, said, come and take what you have to take. تعال يا هذا وخذ دينارك ودعني. Take your money, take what you want, let me sleep in peace. So the old man and the owner of the money followed him. He went to his house, he dug a hole, he took out the money, and this Khurasani was leaving. At the door he said, my father passed away, may Allah have mercy on him, and he left 3,000 dinars. And he said, take out a third of this money and give it to the person from the people who is most deserving of it. Therefore I tied this pouch and I came with the intention of spending it on somebody worthy of it. Wallahi ma ra'aytu mundu kharajtu min Khurasan ila hahuna rajulan awla biha minka. In all my journey and travels I have not come across anybody more worthy of this coins than you. فَخُذْهُ بَارَكَ اللَّهُ لَكَ فِيهِ. Take it, it's a hadiah from me, may Allah put the barakah. وَجَزَاكَ خَيْرًا. And may Allah reward you on this amanat and the sabr ala faqrik, the poverty. ثُمَّ ذَهَبَ وَتَرَكَ الْمَالِ. He left the wealth and he departed. The old man started crying and he made dua to Allah, may Allah bless the owner, may Allah bless the person in his qabr now, may Allah bless his son. So Ibn Jarir said, I left, and as I left, this old man followed me and brought me back. Asked me to sit down. He said, I've been noted that you've been following me since the first day. You know of our situation yesterday, today, etc. I've heard what Nabi Alayhi Salam has said. If you are given from the provisions of Allah without begging or asking, then accept it and do not reject it. So this year I am giving you as a gift. So the old man called his wife, O Abu Lubaba, he called his daughter, etc. All of them came and we sat down and we were 10 people. And he opened the bag. He said, I will distribute it now. But they had to extend their hands because the clothing was of very meager, very limited. So the old man distributed the dinars, and Ibn Jarir says that my heart was filled because I received 100 dinars. And he said, when I left, Ya fata innaka la mubarak wa ma ra'aytu hadha al-mal qattu wa la amthalahu. I have not seen wealth like this ever in my life before. You are blessed, keep this money, for it is halal. And you know, my situation was such that I used to wake up for Fajr Salat, and when I was done, I would take it off, give it to my daughters so that they would pray one at a time. Then I would work between Dhar and Asr, and then I would be back at the end of the day, and I would have some dates and a dry piece of bread. Then my daughters, they would pray, and the same would happen for every Salat. So I would come for every Salah, make them pray, and we only had this cloth of clothing that was sufficient. We never dream of this amount of money. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us make good use of it and bless the person. So Ibn Jarir says, I greeted him and I left. I took the 100 dinars and all my writings, all my works in the field of knowledge, I utilized this for 2 years. I used to buy the paper, pay the rent. After 16 years, I returned to Makkah and I inquired about the old man. I was told he had passed away. Few months after this incident, his wife had also passed away with her mother and the two sisters. The only ones that remained was the daughters. When I inquired, فَسَأَلْتُ أَنْهُنَّ وَوَجَدْتُهُنْ تَتَزَوَّجْنَ بِمُلُوكٍ وَأُمَرَاءٍ. When I inquired, I found out that they were married to royals and princes. So I decided to visit them. They honored me as a guest and treat me very, very kindly. May Allah fill their qabrs, etc. So Allah will make your matters easy through taqwa. So this old man had an option to commit guna, but he did not commit the guna, and he continued to fulfill the amr of Allah. Allah made barakah in his life, in his family life. Even his daughters, he had withdrawn and made them go through difficulty. Allah showed them the days of ease. The third intention is the third benefit of taqwa. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهُ. And adopt taqwa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will teach you. So amongst the benefits of taqwa, number 3 is that a person will get the knowledge, and it's one of the greatest asbab of attaining knowledge and benefit, and ilm al-ladunni. And ulama have explained the opposite of that. A person who engages in guna, they will be deprived of knowledge. So one is they will be deprived in the sohbat, in the company of the ulama. They will be deprived of Quran. And those that have knowledge, they will be deprived of memorizing and practicing on the kalam of Allah. So they will forget very readily. A hafiz the Quran who is busy in haram, he will be deprived, he will forget the Quran. So the poem of Imam Shafi, who was forgetting, he went to his ustad, shakawtu ila waki su'ahibzi. I went to my ustad, I said, my memory is not as it was. فَارُشَّدَنِي إِلَى تَرْكِ الْمَعَاسِ. He told me that stay away from disobedience. وَأَخْبَرَنِي بِأَنَّ الْعِلْمِ نُورٌ. He told me that this ilm is nur, it is a light. وَنُورُ اللَّهِ لَا يُهْدَى لِعَاسِ. The light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not go to a disobedient person. So for us to get the nur of knowledge as well, a person should adopt taqwa. And taqwa is a means for a person getting this knowledge. So there was a person who got married, and in just recently, and a bayan was taking place in a masjid, and they gave him targhib to study deen. This person got married recently, he made mashura with his wife, he left for his journey. As he completed his studies, he was on his way back, he stopped at a place. The farmer invited him home. He had meals there, and he came to know of his history. So he said, if you stay with 1 year, I will teach something you never learnt, and you will be grateful you made the sacrifice to learn it. So he got ready. After a year, the farmer told him, what lesson have you learnt? So he didn't know what to say. So he replied, I've taught you taqwa, and I've seen that you've learned taqwa, and you will see the fruits of taqwa, and you will remember the benefits of taqwa. But for me to give you more advice, you need to spend another year. So he got ready. So after that was done, he said he finished his 2nd year, and as he was leaving, he said, I'm giving you 3 advices. Remember them well. He said, firstly, اطلع سهيل فلا تأمن للسيل. That when the star of Suhail comes, do not be lax with regards to the flood. Secondly, لا تأمن لأبو عيون زرق وأسنان فرق. That be careful of the blue-eyed person where his teeth are separated. And نام على الندم ولا تم على الدم. That when a person sleeps, he can sleep on regret, but never sleep on blood. So he carried on traveling, and he came to an area where people were sleeping in a valley, and he went to sleep, and he looked at the stars, and he seen this star here, and he remembered, and he went to the Amir of the tribe, and he told him, you know what, you need to move very quickly. And the Amir said, what you talking about? He said, no, I was given this advices. He didn't listen. He went to the mountain, and then it rained, and it flooded, and all those people were killed. Then he carried on traveling, and he came to a place, and he stayed by that person, and a person invited him in the house, and then he seen the person was blue-eyed and his teeth were spaced out. So he said, no, let me sleep somewhere else. So he showed him outside. Then he made an appearance of him sleeping, and he stood one side, and this person was going to rob him. So as he came with his sword and he was gonna kill him, thinking he was asleep, then this person took retribution and saved himself. Then he was coming home and it was at night and he wanted to surprise his wife. He entered the house and he found another man in bed with his wife. So he was going to kill him. Then he remembered the advice of this person where he told him that rather sleep with regret and do not sleep with, rather sleep with regret, but do not ever take revenge. The advice which this person had given him, وَلَا تَنَامْ عَلَى الدَّمْ, don't sleep with blood. So he went out of the town and he came in a normal time. People welcomed him and they said, we haven't seen you for a long time. And glad tidings to your son. He was surprised, what you talking about? Because when he left, he didn't know his wife was pregnant. وَنَذَرَ رَجُلِ ابْنِهِ وَإِذَا ذَلِكَ الشَّابَ الَّذِي كَانَ يَنَامْ بِالْأَمْسِ. When he got to the house, he seen that boy, it was his son, who was sleeping next to the wife. فَحَمِدَ اللَّهَ عَلَى هَدَاهُ. Then he praised Allah that Allah gave him guidance, and he remembered the words of the old man where he told him that he will be grateful. So he learned taqwa, and the barakah of taqwa is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you ilm that will benefit you in both the worlds. The amal for today is that if a person has 3 children or 2 children, so the Rawi says, wa ithnain, asked for 2, he said yes. Why? Yes, 1. So even if one child passes away, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks the malaika, you've taken this person's child, let's say yes. Then, ماذا قال عبدي, what did he say? The angel say, he praised you, wastarja'a, he said, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allah will tell the farishtas that build for my servant baytan fil jannah, a house in Jannah, wasammuhu bayt al-hamd, and called us the house of praise. May Allah give us tawfiq of making amal. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.